We're making this video for two groups of people. One group are parents of newly diagnosed kids that have a retinal eye disease or who are blind, and some of the questions around that. And the other group of people being people who are adults and newly diagnosed and find themselves in a situation they never sort of expected. And we've decided to make this after getting tons and tons of messages from people just like this.
And the one caveat to all of this is that it's a different experience for every person. You know, no two people deal with difficulty in the same way, and no two people's visual impairment is exactly the same. So this is just kind of our best pieces of advice.
The first piece of advice, and I think this is the most important, at least it was for me, is that we are so lucky that we live in a world with so much technology, so many resources, that visual impairment is becoming less and less important. And the big risk now is that you don't feel capable because of your visual impairment, letting the physical disability become a psychological issue. And that's letting your blindness or your visual impairment affect your self-esteem. So if you're a parent and you have a kid and you're trying to think, what can I let my son or daughter do? Do I need to protect them? I would say, you know, you're gonna have to judge each situation on its own, but err on the side of letting them compete, letting them learn how to fail and then get back up. I mean, that's what we all have to learn as we all grow up. And it's so important that that person doesn't feel so protected that when they get out and have to face other normal challenges that other people do have to face, that they feel comfortable being able to deal with those. Another piece of advice, if you're a parent of a newly diagnosed kid or you're an adult who just got diagnosed, you are in a great state of confusion. There's not a lot of information. No path is the same. Nobody can give you the playbook, and that creates a lot of anxiety. And so if you're that person or you're in that situation, I would say the first thing to do is just to try to get as much education. Go talk to experts, go reach out to people. It sounds like you already are reaching out to people who have a related experience. Give yourself the flexibility to deal with the fact that you're going through a new experience. It's going to be a little stressful. It's going to be confusing, and you're not going to figure it out all on day one, but over time you will find your lane and you will find your own method of dealing with it.
The other thing that's always just really important, and it doesn't matter at any stage in your life, is just be willing to ask for help. It makes your life 100% easier. My girlfriend will read me the menu at every restaurant, or she'll introduce me to people and let me know who they are, because I can't do it or I can struggle through it. But if just by asking for the little bit of help, it makes everything more simple. Yesterday, I was in a different part of New York and I was trying to find the subway, and my Google Maps was acting up. And instead of me trying to look around for 15 minutes and just waste time, I walked into a deli and I said, hey, where's the nearest ACE? And the guy pointed 3 blocks in the opposite direction that I was heading. I would have wasted half an hour, but instead I just chose to ask for help and I was there. And it's so simple and it's so silly not to do. Is just when you need help, if you're in a class and you're having a hard time seeing the board, if you're playing a sport and you need a little bit of an accommodation, if you're at work and you need a larger monitor, you need a little bit more time on something, ask for the help, and people are almost always willing to give it to you, and your life is just so much easier.
One other thing we thought we'd do is we just give you some real practical things that we do to help get through our day. These won't be relevant to every single person, but for our specific condition, this is a lifesaver, or a number of lifesavers, a whole pack or roll of lifesavers. Ooh, if you want. No,
tropical fruit flavor.
First one is the iPhone. We use text-to-speech on our iPhone. There's a double finger swipe down that'll read the screen. You can have the iPhone speak text to you. You can enlarge with the triple tap zoom. These are all things that we use every half an hour.
Go into accessibility and play with each of these. The other great one is the MacBook. The control zoom, enlarges the whole screen, has great text-to-speech. If you have a Mac, check out accessibility.
The other thing I would say is use disability resources whenever possible. When we were growing up in school, we qualified for extra time on tests. We qualified to get pick our classes first. There's probably resources in your community that are available to you. If you are qualified to take advantage of those services, definitely go do it. There's a lot of great resources out there. And it's really important to know that everything is going to be fine. You know, the things that matter in life, family, friends, purpose, your health. I mean, these are things that aren't going to change dramatically just because you have a vision impairment or you're blind. You can live a totally fulfilling, successful life. We may be an example of that, but we know tons of people who are also examples of that.
I would say even more than that. We actually view our disability, as some call it, but I think Stargardt has given a lot to my life that a lot of things I cherish that I otherwise wouldn't have. And so it's something that really, if you're willing to look at it in the right light and you can put in some effort, it is a bit of a blessing to have a visual impairment. So overall, everyone, we hope this helped. As we said at the beginning, it's specific to every single person. So if you do have a question or you do need to chat or whatever, please feel free to reach out to Brad and I again. And, you know, we're more than happy to send you a message or hop on a call or something.